and to bring you the next 4 years of Donald Trump.
Oh my gosh, really? That's where you're going on the show? That's where you're going to take it. That's where you're going to go with it.
I cannot believe Donald Trump, his whole campaign was trolled by a bunch of teenagers. The next thing you know, he's going to have an executive order that says that it is illegal to be a teenager in America.
That's not what we're talking about today.
He is going to regulate the age of people.
This is the terrible pre-show.
This
is the terrible pre-show.
This is not a terrible pre-show.
This is the terrible pre-show. It is not good. Not good at all, comrade.
No.
We're supposed to be talking about the funny books. See, I'm gonna start mixing my European accent.
In Soviet Russia, the books are funny to you.
The books are fun. The books think you're funny.
You are funny to books.
The books think you're funny. I wonder how I go in there and see. I'm not good at this whole thing on the Facebook. You're getting some inside baseball. We haven't really started the show yet.
No.
The instantaneous pre-show. It's
the pre-show.
It's instantaneous.
The pre-show.
All right, so something is happening.
Something is happening.
Something is happening. This is not lot. This is not it.
Something is
not right.
Happening.
Not right.
Something is happening. I don't know why I have an echo.
You don't have an echo. You sound great.
I sound great. Thank you.
All right, enough. Dude, yeah, I don't know how to get back in there. Oh, no, there it is. There it was. Now I got to hit the back button.
Cue up the Russian Soviet anthem.
The only reason I know that is because of wrestling. Right? Isn't that how everybody knows that?
I don't know if that is the genuine Soviet anthem.
No, it had to have been. It had to have been. See, now that I'm in here, it won't show me my videos.
Show you your videos.
Oh, what a pain in the ass.
Pain in ass. I mean, in Soviet Russia, ass is pain for you. Yakov Smirnov. He could have been like making a resurgence in his career, you know, like in Russian influenced United States, you know, election rigs you.
Right. Hey, if you're in the chat, say hi. We're not even really live yet. We're technically
I don't even know if I'm in the chat. How do I know if I'm in the chat?
You got to go to the video.
Go to the video.
Go to the video.
Go to the video. Where's
on the Outright Geekery page
on Facebook?
You're soaking in it. Yes, on Facebook.
Okay,
where else would you go? That's where. Oh my gosh.
I am not on Facebook.
Oh, you don't go to Facebook? I see.
I don't go to Facebook during the times we record the podcast because
it can. I'm afraid.
I'm afraid that it will have like feedback and echoes and some other issues. Yeah. So I don't do the Facebook on. I got two computers. I could do the Facebook, I guess, on another computer.
It's not a spinoff like Frasier. This is not a Comicast Frasier spinoff. Okay, we were doing this show a long time. It's morphed over the years from. It used to be kind of what we're doing now.
It used to be kind of like we did it at the comic shop for a while.
Yeah, we did it,
and we had a much
live from a comic book shop.
Yeah,
which was very fun. Oh, I got audio feedback. Sorry, everyone. Yeah. So there you go. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Well, let's actually begin the thing. You ready?
Okay.
I have a new intro.
You have a new intro. Let me put this.
Nice, huh? I had that for a while.
Sega.
Garbage. Some people will watch anything, Scarlet.
You like that?
That's pretty cool. Do it again.
Do it again. Again. Some people like the damn intro song, David. I wonder if we'll get flagged because of the G.I. Joe. We only use like 3 seconds of it.
You should use that like those twisted PSAs instead. You know,
right. Greetings, geeks. We're back for another episode of This Geek in Comics Outright Geekery's comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
We're down one this week,
Adam,
and we should really be looking for one, right? Oh yeah, no comment. You don't even want to say. I'm not sure about bringing in new people. Going.
I'm fine with bringing in new people.
I don't know about bringing in new people.
I was actually going to bring it up to after the podcast, but shit, why don't we invite like Jason Cantu, Drew Manchu?
Cantu got a lot going on,
but still,
I wouldn't mind asking him. Drew too, but I know Drew's always busy Sunday nights, and I don't want to speak for him. So it's difficult. You got to find somebody. I was thinking Big Willie too. I don't know if he's in the chat. Probably not. Why should he jump in here? I mean,
I'm open to the idea.
Dave is like, I'm open to the idea.
I'm open to the idea.
As long as it's a round peg that we can fit in the hole. I got some banners.
Hell, I mean, what? I mean,
OutRightGeekery.com. Check us out.
Aren't there some awesome girls at Outright Geekery that we could get in?
Dude, great idea. There you go. Flesh it out a little bit. Yes. There you go. Think outside the box.
I'm all
for that.
Destroyed the box. I run around.
I don't even have a box, man. I don't even have a box. It feels like it's just me talking to a picture, and I hate it.
And the picture's talking back to you. Which
the picture's talking back. The dumpster fire is yelling at me.
Gomer, put me out, Gomer. I'm the ghost of 2020. Put me out.
You should do that. You should get in the Outright Geekery review crew, where we do a lot of the back, inside baseball stuff that we do. If you're in the chat, say hi. I see there's people up there. It just keeps going up and down, so say hi. But yeah, you need to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I turned captions off for this, so I don't know why there's captions. They never work right.
the Chiron going across the bottom of the screen, aka David's open to the idea of having guest host on.
Yeah, who is watching us like they're watching anime? I don't know, whatever. So yeah, what's up?
Great, another show I had to read.
Yeah, what's going on, bro? How's tricks, as they say? Are the kids still saying that? I don't know.
I don't know, but I went to the doctor Friday, which was not something I wanted to do.
What'd you have to
I didn't want to be where the sick people are.
What'd you have to go for?
I had to go get my blood pressure checked and stuff like that.
Oh.
The good news is my blood pressure is down.
I haven't been to the doctor in a while. I should probably go get like a physical.
And
no one wants to talk about this. This is so boring. And
I've lost about 20 pounds.
What?
And
I bet you're nowhere near as cute.
I am nowhere near. My face is. I'm losing all my baby fat.
Yeah.
And the doctor said that if I continue on this progress that I didn't even know I was making, they may actually be able to take me off my blood pressure medication. So, hey.
Whoa. How's that?
That is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what else is going on, man? Anything? Nothing?
I
got nothing going on. Yeah, it's Father's Day. I am a father, so...
I have a father.
Big deal. It's literally the easiest job I've ever had. It's not even a job. It's
I just want to say that your son Cyrus made the best comment today.
Which he's going to turn it up.
He's going to turn up the difficulty level.
And I commented right back. I don't think he's going to be able to turn it up. Okay, not enough. The key to being a good father is being just as childish as your children. That's the key.
so they learned how to be more mature than you are.
Well, you always win, man. And then they see by example how terrible I'm being.
And they're like, I don't want to be like my dad.
That's right. As long as you're the bad example, you're going to win. You're going to win. All right. So, yeah, nothing going on with me. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there. Rando, who's your favorite fictional dad? Go ahead. Favorite fictional dad.
I'll tell you who my least favorite fictional dad is.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead.
Handsome Jack.
I don't even know who that is.
He's from Borderlands 2. He's the villain from Borderlands 2.
I don't play your games. I have been playing more Forza Horizon.
If I had to pick a favorite fictional dad, I'd probably go with I'm
going Reed Richards.
I don't know. He doesn't seem like a very good father to me.
Neither do I, but I am weird.
If there is one fictional dad I could probably go with, it'd probably be Uncle Ben because he was.
There you go.
Uncle Ben is probably by far the best fictional dad.
He wasn't even there most of the time. But he died when Peter was a freaking teenager.
Yes,
his legacy lived on.
The lessons that Uncle Ben taught Peter Parker live on. The
lessons that Uncle Ben should have had were duck, okay? Or don't get in the middle of a fight. That's none of your business, Uncle Ben. Sorry, I'm just kidding. Uncle Ben's a hero. He's awesome. I love Ultimate Uncle Ben quite a bit more than regular Uncle Ben. All right, let's move on. Do you want to move on?
Yeah.
I've got all kinds of awesome. Hold on. I got to open up the...
Is this a gift that the show relies on?
No, shut up, man. It's not even good. We're going to do the news, right?
Going to do the news. Let me open it.
Oh, it didn't pop up, dude. Damn it.
Ah, there it is.
Let me go again. What?
That's new.
What did I
That's
just
new.
do? It's rad, isn't it?
That's new. I like that.
I don't know why this didn't go full screen. That's rad, right?
Yes.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
That is very rad. It's super rad. You
like that, don't you?
Yeah.
Adam's totally missing it.
Yeah.
He had some other stuff to do.
He had a very similar thing to what I was doing last week with the family, but his is actually, I think it's a family gathering in person, whereas ours is kind of like a virtual family gathering.
Like you did like a Zoom thing.
Yes.
Which is the way I like to talk to my family. Is Zoom.
At a safe distance.
I don't even have anything about Negan, but if you look at the description of the video, you see what we're talking about. First thing we're going to start off is the sexual misconduct allegations that are going all over, and not just in comics, you know, all over the damn place. Let me see if I can find the thing here so I can pimp that show. I don't even have it. We have another podcast. They actually stream on YouTube called The Wrestling Council. I'm pretty damn sure Boogie and the boys are going to be all over just sexual misconduct allegations.
Now, is there sexual misconduct in the wrestling that I don't know about?
Yeah.
Because I don't follow wrestling. So
I don't really either, but I follow like everything pop culture, you know, as part of the feeds, the news feeds that I get. Yes, I still use RSS. I'm way old school, but it's the best way for me to consume vast amounts of media without actually having to, you know, do a lot of work.
Vast quantities of information, Stephanie.
Vast quantities. But yeah, so check them out. They actually stream here every other time. It's weird. I actually should get with Boogie and fix that. So if Antonio wants to stream to Outright Geeker, he could do that. I would even let him stream his regular, you know, streams there.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another story.
I'm not. So if there's stuff going on in the wrestling, this is news to me because, like I said, I don't follow wrestling, but I have been following comic books. So
well, it all sort of started with Cameron Stewart.
Cameron Stewart.
He is an artist for Fight Club 2 and Fight Club 3 from Dark Horse. He did the Batgirl Burnside era, which was wildly popular.
Mm-hmm.
He co-created Motor Crush over
with Bab Tars.
Yeah, we really enjoyed that. And he recently did something for the Catwoman 80th.
And he also got a variant cover for Ice Cream Man number 20 that's supposed to come out in August, which has been canned.
Which has been canceled, yes. As a result of all these stories on widespread media, DC has also withdrawn an unannounced project from him. So this sort of all just came out last week that he was grooming young female creators. If you don't know what grooming is, it's when an older person sort of, I don't know, a person who is not they sort of like have a romantic relationship, like low key, so low key that the teenager, because of their naivety, doesn't really understand what's going on, and they're really building. You know, they try to build it.
They try to build it into a sexual relationship by basically influencing the teenager while they're still young and vulnerable.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. So that all came out, and because of that, I mean, and like these things tend to do, it wasn't just one; it was, you know, a mountain of things that came down.
Yeah, it was. That was the beginning. That was match. That was the match. that lit everything else on fire.
That's right. Yeah, it started snowballing after that, and then so he's been, like you said, he's been removed from a bunch of shit.
Oh yeah, he's
his social media. He went private on his social media. Did not reply to email inquiries made by press the least press that I had seen.
Yeah, he's not talking to people at the moment.
Yeah, so he's not talking to people. And then Warren Ellis got called out.
Actually, there's a whole lot of creators and editors.
Do you have a list?
I'd have to go look it up real quick, but I can tell you that there's a major DC editor, and Frank Miller has been mentioned.
Oh wow! See, I mean, okay, people are going to be like, oh no, and why? Because now what? You have to cancel that person.
Yeah,
you're not allowed to buy anything else from them. And that's not true. That's not true at all. You can separate the art from the artist, and you can go and buy their comics that have already come out or pirate them. Do that if that makes you feel better. Pirate them. All right. Yeah. I can separate the art from the artist. However, we're not the ones you have to convince.
No.
Okay. It's not the readers you have to convince, because DC, like we said, has fired Cameron Stewart.
Okay.
From most of their projects. Okay. So we can't even get new content from these people until they have made amends enough for a publisher to take a chance on them. Now let Warren Ellis take his ass over to Kickstarter, and he gonna make $1 million.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but his apology is kind of.
I have his apology. Do you want to get into that?
Well, we can get into that, but I just found a list.
Here's the product update that was from DC Comics. I got it up on the screen now.
All right.
Ryan Higgins found this. I think he's an owner of a comic shop. I don't know. Previously announced 2-page story from Dark Knight's Metal that had been Warren Ellis and Jim Chung has been replaced with a 2-page story by Marguerite Bennett and Jamal Eagle. That's because those folks are quick. All right, Marguerite Bennett and Jamal Eagle, they can draw and write fast. Yeah. All right, it's going to be good. I'm excited for that. But let's get into Warren Ellis' statement. Here it is. See, I'm pretty good, huh? I got all this.
You're awesome. You're really awesome.
It's not a very good statement, and I'll start. I don't want to go bit by bit here, but I just have to go with the first part. I have never considered myself famous or powerful. Okay,
Bullshit.
so you got imposter syndrome. That's what he's saying. I had imposter syndrome. He's playing the victim. Immediately, he's playing the victim, and that's just me from reading the man's words.
You're playing the victim because you got caught.
If you're sincere about being apologetic, I'm just not sure that's the way you start, by putting up these barriers that say, no, I'm getting nailed and I'm going to lift this shit up. But he is admitting, he is, saying, I hurt people deeply. I'm ashamed for these mistakes. I'm profoundly sorry. I will not speak. And this part kind of bothers me too, because he says, I will not speak about other people's personal truths. That's sort of downplaying the idea that this happened. Now, if it's me, I'm not going to take responsibility, because he says this. I will do better for that, and I apologize. It's like he's talking out of both sides of his mouth a little bit, because he's saying, yeah, other people have their truths and I have my truths. And that's what you say when you say people have personal truths. And he's taking responsibility for it, but he's not really admitting. You know what I mean? It's weird, dude. If it's me, if somebody accused this of me and I did something and I realized I did it, I would say, holy shit, my bad. I'm sorry. That's it. That would literally be the extent of my thing. And then I would say, I'm dealing with the people who I offended personally. You know what I mean? Because that's just the kind of person I am. This blanket sort of thing like this, if somebody came out and said, David, if you came out and said, Gomer did this to me, and I heard about it just on social media, I would go to you, bro. That's just what it feels to me. If he honestly thought about these people as colleagues, and it was a mentor-mentee sort of relationship, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then there would be that professional sense. If he actually meant no harm, if it was truly accidental,
if he was truly sincere and regretted his actions, he would speak to these people on an individual basis and try to hash out an understanding and make a full effort for an apology. But this basically is like this is like the one line from Return of the Jedi that pisses me off, is when Obi-Wan tells Luke that I told you the truth from a certain point of view.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
and that's even more complex. Okay, the Star Wars thing.
I know, but that always pissed me off, and that's basically, it's a certain point of view. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but that's up to a person to decide.
It's really iffy for me, man, because he does come from a place where he's apologetic. He takes responsibility for the things that he did, but he also. It's sort of like he's saying, no, I thought these were professional relationships. And if someone took it differently, then I'm sorry. But he's obviously taking it differently, because why isn't he then approaching these people as professionals? I don't know. It's weird to me. You have another list? You got anything to say on this? Because I'm sick of
okay. I found a list from Tess Fowler's Twitter. Right now there are like at least 7 names. We've got Ellis and we've got Stewart, but we also have Scott Alley, Scott Lomdale, Brian Wood.
Brian Wood has already been canceled.
We've already heard things about Brian Wood.
Yeah, we talked about that on a previous episode of this show. I think.
Yeah, that was a while back. Eric M. Esquivel.
Okay, I've heard the name. I can't put any work to these names.
And I believe the last name on the list is the editor from DC Comics, and this is Eddie Berganza. Like an editor in chief at DC Comics. I believe this is the guy that was revealed just a little while ago.
Okay.
So
I in the chat, and this is wonderful. I'm sorry to change the subject. I didn't mean to change the subject.
That's all right.
But we got Kenneth in the chat. Hey, can't stay. I need caption. Captions on, and then he says caption started. Awesome, Kenneth. I was just griping about the damn captions. I will leave the captions on forever after that comment. Thank you. Come back and hang out. Go to our Patreon too. But yeah, so you got a whole list.
I got a list of at least 7 names, and I expect that list to grow.
Yeah. But again, check out the Wrestling Council for like follow-up on this. They're going to have way different opinions on this, I'm sure. But honestly, and let's get down to it. Let's get into some cancel culture. If you don't care.
Sure. We can.
Again, like I had said previously, you don't have to cancel these creators. You can still go and buy the work that they've already done. You can support them. If they're good creators, and if they can find people to work with them, which I'm sure they can go to Kickstarter. And they can do amazing work there, right?
Yeah.
And make money.
Yep.
But it's not us canceling them. It's the publishers. Like we said, DC is canceling. Now, a lot of people will say, well, that's just pressure from Twitter and stuff like that. And then I'm like, well, people should kind of be upset about the shit that these guys have been accused of doing. And they have a platform.
On the publisher's dime, no less.
On the publisher's dime. And they have a dialogue with their employer. In this case, DC Comics and Cameron Stewart and Warren Ellis and whatever project he had in Dark Knight's Death Metal, which I think we're going to talk about later.
Yes.
But that's for them to decide. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's weird to me. Yes, the masses rose their arms up and said, we don't like these guys, and this is why. And it's a pretty valid reason why. I mean, they did some pretty douchebaggery stuff, or at least they were accused of doing some pretty douchebaggery stuff. So then from that point, it's in the hands of their employer. Their employer has heard this information. Their employer is then going to what? Do a knee-jerk reaction? Possibly, if it's in the contract where DC Comics can just say, you get the stanky boot whenever we say. Now, that's a little unfair, I think. But in most cases, I would think that an employer would contact their employee and find out what's going on. Yeah, and then they would say, okay, well, now with that information, we're just going to have to let you go.
Well, it does seem like these are rather fast reactions to these kinds of things. I mean, a lot of times, and I'm sure the comic book industry is a little bit structured differently, but a lot of times, a lot of companies do drag their feet trying to get this kind of level of disciplinary action out.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, I mean, everyone's like, oh, these snowflake pussies, pissed off and getting these comic book creators canceled. Like, no, DC is the pussies. If you got, you know what I mean? If you think that DC is reacting out of anything besides their financial bottom line, you're crazy. They think that they're going to lose money because of this, and that's how it works. That's just how society works. When I didn't like New Coke, I bitched, and I got old Coke back. When enough people, when enough people piss and moan, yes, things are going to change. And I don't blame people for being pissed off.
The dirty little secret about the New Coke thing is that Coke kept New Coke around until like a decade after it dropped.
Let's do the news thing again. Next piece of news. Next piece of news.
We'll get this little one out of the way. It's
Oh, you doing the Negan?
Let's do the Negan.
Okay, we're getting Negan out of the way, you guys.
All right, so there's going to be a one-shot Walking Dead coming out next month. This July, late July.
Hold on a second, because we got a comment from Kenneth. Good points you're making. Do you think that this could lead other DC artists and writers to leave DC and start their own comic company? No, and I'll take that, Kenneth, in a big picture. I think nowadays creators don't have to have a publisher because of Kickstarter and stuff like that.
And the thing is now Image Comics does exist, and there are other smaller independent
publishers. If they wanted to go that way, sure. But he's talking in the context of DC artists and writers being caught up in these accusations. I don't think other publishers are going to pick them up too quick. You know what I mean? I think if you're an Image Comics, you're going to be hesitant to pick up someone who's been surrounded by that sort of thing. So yeah, I definitely think that there is an option for the people for the creators who have been accused of these things. And again, I'm separating the art from the artist. They're douchebags. You know, if they're doing douchebaggery things, do dumb things, win dumb prizes. That's how it works.
Yep.
But do I think that this could lead to other DC artists and writers leaving DC? No. And the reason why is if DC writers and artists sort of like leave in solidarity with people who have been accused of doing terrible things, that sort of paints them in a bad picture, even if they themselves have done those terrible things and haven't been called out for it yet. And I'm not saying that that's a club. You know, that's not like some boys club, some preying on teenage girls fan club.
The Super Adventure Happy Fun Time
They're
Club.
not comparing notes, you know, at the public. Who knows? It could be a big ring. Who knows?
There could be. I mean,
I doubt it.
There could be that. There could be. But I don't know.
But that's a good question. That is
the
a good
Kickstarter
question.
route would probably be the safest route for a lot of people to go.
Sure.
You know, creating a publisher from scratch and then trying to get in there. Yeah.
Honestly, if Warren Ellis, whether he did something or didn't do anything, right? If he goes to Kickstarter, it's going to make a lot of money. And it would sort of be vindicating for him either way. And again, I'm not saying that I support him doing that. I'm just saying if he does do that, people are definitely going to ignore those accusations and they're going to get the Warren Ellis book. Because that's who Warren Ellis is. He's a good comic book writer. It's impossible to take that away from him no matter what else he does. I hate it, you know, kind of in a weird way, but I'm not going to deny myself good quality comic books just because the artist or the writer is a douchebag. Or I can't enjoy anything. Somebody is going to point out to me, oh, well, you know, this one guy said the N-word one time. And I'm not trying to downplay the fact that these guys did the douchebaggery things that they did. But we always forgive people. And eventually people who want to make amends will make amends. So in the meantime, I'm not going to deny myself. And maybe that's me talking out of two sides of my mouth too, right?
Stay tuned.
Do I have to follow through?
Don't worry, Warren Ellis will have a redemption arc.
Yeah, there you go. Here, let's do this again. Let's see if I can do this again.
Oh no.
Next bit of news, talking about Negan and The Walking Dead. Go ahead.
So, Negan Lives this July, a surprise one-shot free to retailers. So, talk to your comic shops. Get this. So, Robert Kirkman and Charlie Allard are digging through the world of The Walking Dead with a one-shot called Negan Lives. Did he
die in the comics? And
he disappeared in issue 174. And this is supposed to explain what has happened to him after that issue, because the way that it indicates Maggie goes after him.
Oh,
for Glenn's death. So
sure, I'm with you. That's dope. That sounds awesome.
But here's the thing.
This is to help comic book shops.
This is to help comic book shops. There will be no digital copy of this book.
That's right. Get your ass to your comic book shop,
and it will be shipped, I believe, free.
I think it's shipping free, but you can also get some variant covers if you want to pay. There's like a gold and a silver foil variant. If you
I will be speaking to my comic book shop here in the near future about this.
A homeboy like, I want a gold foil variant.
I don't know if I want a gold foil variant.
I want a spec.
Well, the thing is Walking Dead rarely had variants, but when they had variants, it was for like the big issues. So.
Oh yeah, and that's rad. They should.
Yeah.
All right, what's next? You still gone Negan?
No, that's the end of it. Negan Libs should be in comic shops on July 1st. Why did I say January?
I don't know. It's July. That's next
July.
month.
So where am I?
Again. All right, I got this. Go ahead.
Nice,
nice.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I thought we were going to be jumping to the other one.
No, we're jumping to D&D.
D&D. All right.
And then we're going to end with a fourth thing.
Okay.
Because Adam's not here. We're going to fill time.
Okay. So when was this? This was earlier this week. It was on the 17th, which was Wednesday?
Yeah.
DC, or not DC, what did I say?
Wizards.
Okay, I was expecting the DC story.
Yeah, come on, man, get with it.
All right, Wizards of the Coast put out an article about diversity in Dungeons and Dragons. And they were commenting about, they basically made a comment about how with the Black Lives Matter protests, they are, and the recent reevaluation of wizard cards for racist contents, they're taking a look at
magic cards.
I am
sorry. You got it, dude. I've got all of them. Do you want me to go by all the bullet points?
Yes, please.
They put out a press release, and this is from the folks at Wizards of the Coast, Diversity in Dungeons and Dragons. Here's what we're doing to improve. We present orcs and drow in a new light in two of our most recent books, Eberron, Rising of the Last War, and Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. In those books, orcs and drow are just as morally and culturally complex as other peoples. We will continue that approach in future books, portraying all the peoples of D&D in relatable ways and making it clear that they are as free as humans to decide who they are and what they do. That makes sense to me. It sort of ruins Drista Orden in a little bit of a way, because part of his character was being a good guy in a world full of bad guys. But I get it. It makes sense to me.
Well, I was actually kind of surprised by, orc culture, because the way they
Tom,
the way they portray them is
hilarious. Love you. Drow lives matter.
Well, just from the monster manuals and stuff, they portray them as kind of just brutes.
Who, the orcs?
The orcs. I mean, there was more like explanation of hobgoblin culture than there was of orc culture, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I don't know. You get what they're saying, though.
But this is, I get what they're saying.
Because you can play as these races.
You
can play as them.
I don't know if you can play as orc. You can play as drow.
You can play as orcs.
You can play as half.
At least half of them.
Half orcs.
All right. When every D&D book is reprinted, we have an opportunity to correct errors that we or the broader D&D community discovered in that book. Each year, we use the opportunity to fix a variety of things, including errors in judgment. In recent reprintings of Tome of Annihilation and Curse of Strahd, for example, we changed text that was racially insensitive. Those reprints have already been... Okay, so that's basic. Yeah. Let's move to the next one. Later this year, we will release a product that offers a way for players to customize their character's origin, including the option to change the ability score increases that come from being an elf, a dwarf, or one of D&D's many other playable folk. This option emphasizes that each person in the game is an individual with capabilities all their own. What this is doing is taking away racial preferences for ability scores.
Ability scores, yeah.
Yeah, like if you were a dwarf, your charisma would go down by 1, but your constitution would go up by 1.
Or if you're an elf, your dexterity would go up. And
yeah, so I get it. That's pretty cool. I think that's better for the game. You know what I mean? Because it allows more diversity, and that's just more fun. I don't know. Curse of Strahd included a people known as the Vistani and featured the Vistani heroine Esmeralda. Regrettably, their depiction echoes some stereotypes associated with the Romani people in the real world. And we've not only made changes to Curse of Strahd, but in 2 upcoming books, we will also show working with Romani Consult and the Vistani in the way that doesn't rely on reductive tropes. That's cool. I have no idea what any of that means. The Vistani or the Romani people. I'll be honest.
The Romani people were one outside the Jewish in Nazi Germany. The Romani were pretty much hunted and put in camps.
And then the Vistani, or I guess the Vistani do the same thing.
Yeah. There's some racial stereotypes that Romani people have that are.
We got two more of these. We received valuable insights from sensitivity readers on 2 of our recent books. We are incorporating sensitivity readers into our creative process. That's a good idea. Everybody should do that. Anybody who's putting out media like this should have an editor that looks into those sorts of things. It's just good business. It's not even to just be a stand-up guy, so to speak. It's good business because someone's going to point it out and you're going to get pointed to, right?
Yep.
And finally, they're going to do new hires. We're proactively seeking new diverse talent to join our staff and our pool of freelance writers and artists. This is all good. D&D, the thing about Dungeons & Dragons, dude, it was always like an open thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dungeons & Dragons is for everyone.
Yeah. Literally everyone. Age. It didn't have an age barrier. Race barrier, gender barrier, it does not matter because when you're playing, you're something totally different. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And yeah, dude. So I think anything that they do should just do it, man.
Yeah. And this is another step that Wizards is doing.
Yeah.
So there's 2 steps that they've taken.
They're being proactive.
They're being fairly proactive, yes.
Yeah. And the thing about Wizards is they're a global company, okay? They're selling the top-rated trading card game and the top-rated role-playing game around the world, all right? That's their bread and butter. So if they and it's not just those things. It's the tournaments that go with it. It's the movies. It's the books. It's the video games. It's everything else. All derives itself from those 2 main sources, 2 single games. They really don't have anything else going for them. But with those 2 games, they're reaching a lot of people. Kenneth even says, I agree. He started losing his hearing in 95, but he started playing in 84. Jesus. I still have my 2nd edition books over here somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, good on Wizards, Yeah. And again, it's not just because it's a nice thing to do. It's good business for them to be doing what they're doing. Just straight up. So I'll close that. Back to the news. Oh, sorry.
Now we are doing the DC thing.
Yeah, come on. Keep up, David.
We are doing the DC now.
I'm biased as hell on this one. First off, let me say that Outright Geekery is actually an affiliate of Entertainment Earth. So let me just say that as a warning. Just get all of it out there. Because now DC Direct is using 4 different stores for distribution. Like we know, DC Comics done with Diamond. Diamond's out. We talked about that last time.
They split.
They're done. History.
They got a divorce. They're split. Boom. Now they're just working on the alimony.
That's right. So Diamond didn't just distribute comics for DC. They also distributed toys and a whole lot of toys.
A lot of statues. I always like to comment on when we do the preview show.
You did. That's previews got to get back to normal.
Okay? I know.
Maybe we'll get back.
We'll get back to preview show. But when we did the preview show, I would make more comments about DC.
You were a fan
than Marvel stuff.
You were definitely a fan. So now that they lost Diamond, they got rid of Diamond. We got another one. Another problem. How the hell are we going to get statues out to the stores? So they're using the 2 distributors that they've already got, Lunar and UCS, which to me is weird. This is the first time either of these stores is doing this sort of thing, right?
Yes.
To
this degree.
Even when they were just doing shipping like they did. Like if you wanted to buy comics online, you could go through Midtown Comics.
Yes. Which
is basically what Lunar is now. Or one of them. But did they do statues and shit through there too?
I couldn't tell you, but
I don't think they did, man.
I don't think they did.
I don't think they did.
Which, with the 2 new distributors that they're going with, at least I know the customer service level from Entertainment Earth is actually pretty good. From just
so let's get into that. The two new distributors are
Entertainment Earth for North America.
EE Distribution, that's the wholesale division of Entertainment Earth Inc. and Sideshow.
Which is that Sideshow Collectibles or is that a different Sideshow?
No, they mean Sideshow Collectibles.
Okay.
And that they were going to handle all territories outside of North America and also do, North American shipping, but that's easy. So the system will begin immediately. Diamond Comics distributors of Diamond Select Toys will not be distributing any products scheduled to be in the market after May 1st.
So this has already happened.
Yes. And any orders placed through Diamond for those products have been canceled.
So if you wanted to get them cool Batman Lucha figures,
get your ass to Entertainment Earth right now. Use the link that we have. I don't even have that link here. I should have that ready.
We'll get that.
Yeah, link. Entertainment Earth's an affiliate. We're an affiliate with them. They are great, dude. They really are. Awesome customer service. Great shipping. I got their sticker like right up here.
Yeah,
sticker.
My personal experience with Entertainment Earth is I've had good interactions with them and on their customer service. I've been like, hey, I received something, and I'm an inbox collector on a couple of things.
Yeah,
and they have sent me replacements. So hey, this come damaged, and they're like, okay, send us a picture how it's damaged.
Exactly.
They're like, okay, we'll send you another replacement. And I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah, they're dope, man. They're really, really good.
So I'm not upset about Entertainment Earth.
Yeah, shout out to our contact over there, Bethany. She's probably not listening. That's fine, but yeah, it's really good. But yeah, this is more Fallout. Again, this is more problems for the comic book shops, but I think this is less of a problem than it was before. Statues and this sort of thing is a totally different animal than comics.
Well, the dirty
every week you're ordering new comics.
Yes.
And it's dozens and dozens of comics from DC.
But
here's one thing aren't as bad. There's only 4 or 5 of them. Still a pain in the ass, but
here's one thing too that DC statues can be bought at like a local GameStop.
Sure.
So it's not like something that.
Well, there's also other differences here.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, you could go to Diamond's website and buy the statues directly from them. They have their own store. You know what I mean? So really, it's no different when it comes to statues and toys and shit like that. It's a different beast than it is for the comics. All right, we did good.
There's always been a workaround with like the statues and toys.
Exactly. Man, something smells really hot in my office, like something's on fire.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, I'm smoking a cigarette, but
yeah, maybe. Let's
do this. I got something else. I got this.
What's this?
Nice, huh?
Yes.
I don't know what the smell is. Hopefully my house isn't burning down while I'm down here. Okay, awesome. Yeah, top 3. This is our top 3 comics of the week.
Top 3 comics of the week.
Top 3 comics. All right, you want to go first?
I'll go first.
Go first while I check out and make sure my shit's not on fire.
While Gomer goes to check to see if his house is not burning down, I will go ahead and tell you about my number 3 pick. It comes from Boom Studios.
I don't know what it is, man. Maybe I'm having a stroke.
Are you smelling toast?
It smells like pine cones.
Okay.
What books you mentioned?
If it was toast, I'd be worried. A book from Boom Studios.
We'll play it again. Sounds awesome. All right, go ahead. Boom Studios.
Boom Studios.
Can I guess?
Yes, go ahead and guess.
Wind number 1.
Wind number 1. WYND.
Yes. This is okay.
Finian the 4th. Mm-hmm. And Michael.
I think it's Tinian. No, Adam Hempsey Davis in the chat. I don't know what I'm smelling, bro. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It smells like something electrical. Hopefully my house isn't burning down.
No.
Live on the air.
This is the best streaming episode we've ever done.
Yeah. Gomer's running with all his action figures out the door, sending his kids back in to grab Metroplex. Yes, Wind number 1.
Wind number 1.
Sorry.
Do you remember a book a few years back
called Feathers? I do.
This is reminiscent of Feathers.
It's more horror, I think, than Feathers was. Feathers didn't have that horror feel to me.
Feathers had a horror feel to it. When you got later in the book, other books, it got
not like this. This opens up with horror, dude.
Horror element. We have a boy named Win. He has a dream and he turns into basically a winged creature.
And it's a fantasy world.
It's a fantasy world. People are living. The humans are living in a city called Pipe Town. They are trying to protect themselves from wild magic. And this young boy Win may be a weird blood, as they call them. We don't know much about him.
Sounds so racist.
It does sound kind of
so racist.
Sounds kind of racist. But the book kind of focuses, half of the portion of the book focuses on this kid as he, he works. I guess he's an orphan or something. He works in kind of like a breakfast diner. And when the breakfast rush is over, he kind of disappears and goes explores the city.
Then he's a street urchin.
Yeah, he's a street urchin, but he's living with somebody. He's got somebody looking after him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's not an orphan.
He's not an orphan. He's got a job. He basically works as a short order cook or something. It's weird. Yeah. They talk. The diners at this place are talking about the Bandage Man has returned to the city because there's apparently a plot to kill the king or something, and the Bandage Man is the scary boogeyman of this world.
Like Hush.
He doesn't very much look like Hush.
A little bit. Yeah, I couldn't help but say he looked like.
He looks like a buff. Yeah. A buff.
Wind did not make my top 3 this week, but it was close. I thought it was a little bit too all ages. That's going to be the most polite way for me to put it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It felt like it was a little young. I don't know,
but it may turn out to be a little bit more adult than that.
We'll see.
Because I kind of think because like I said, the first half of the book focuses on Win, and then the second half of the book focuses on this young man who is the son of the royal gardener, and there's like a lesson that the father is teaching him about if you let things grow wild, the wild magic comes, and we have to protect ourselves from the wild magic because it will corrupt your blood. And
crazy, dude.
And we end up with the gardener, the son of the gardener, going to meet with the prince, and the prince is like, I feel like there's a plot to kill my father, and I feel my uncle's going to, there's a lot. There's political intrigue, and there's like a bit of a horror element to it. So
it's not that deep, though. You're making it sound a lot deeper than it was. To me, it wasn't that deep. It was good, though. But again, it felt like it was an all ages sort of affair.
I want to see where it goes. It's interesting.
I hear you. All right, let's do this again. My number 3 book of the week, A Man Among Ye, number 1. Nothing? You didn't read this?
That was my number 2 pick.
Yes! I knew we were going to overlap on this. Stephanie Phillips, Craig Cermak. Dude, this just it's a pirate book, okay? It nails the pirate genre.
This is Pirates in the Caribbean in comic book form, essentially.
Yes. Great characters, spot-on dialogue, great pacing for a first issue. It wasn't really focused, but it brought everything that it needed to for you to get into the series in this first issue, which was great. And a great twist. There's a woman who is the first mate.
Yeah.
And Phillips is using real-life pirates. Annie Bonny, Calico Jack Rackham, Mary Reed, as characters. With some liberties.
So it's like a historical fiction, kind of.
It's historical fiction. It makes for some really, really fun reading. Pick this up. It was really, really good. The art was spot on. I had a great time reading this, and I think that was Pirates of the Caribbean. You mentioned it. You brought it up. You don't go to those movies for rich, engaging, thoughtful entertainment. You go there to have a good damn time watching a movie.
And I really enjoyed
what this is.
I really enjoyed the setup for what I believe is the series villain, the Governor Rogers.
Yeah, Governor Rogers of Nassau Beach.
Yeah,
he has tricked the crew into thinking that they're going to get a pardon from the king
for bringing him Jack Rackham.
Yeah, if they bring in the captain, but he's a liar, and he's like, if you're going to beat pirates, you got to play the pirates game like the pirates play the game.
Yar. Play the
and
pirates.
if you read something, hey, this is our top 3, but you guys have top 3s too. If you're in the chat, what did you read? I'll ask the chat. Yeah, that's my number 3 book this week.
All right.
What did you think about it? Go on, because it's your number 2. We'll just keep going.
Like I said, it was my number 2 pick. I felt like it had a very Pirates of the Caribbean feel to it. Was very much a historical fiction, using pirates of history. They're trying to end the pirate menace, and the last pirate captain of the Caribbean is out there still. We have what is the makings of an awesome villain in Governor Rogers, and we have a bit of a twist ending at the end of it. And it is Pirates of the Caribbean without like the whole magic element right now. I mean, I don't know if there'll be a magic element to it, and I really don't want there to be. I
don't want there to be anything like that. Yeah, I want it to just be straight up pirates, man. That's the best part. I love it. Can't wait. All right, that was a good one.
All right, what's your number 2 pick?
Oh, I got to do the thing. Hold on. I'm so awkward. I should actually spend the money and get the better StreamYard. My number 2 pick is everybody's pick this week. Dark Knight's Death Metal, number 1. Scott Snyder, Jonathan Campione, Greg Capullo, all doing the art. This is a DC event book. I mean, it's grabbing all of the Scott Snyder and Capullo run that was Death Metal, that was even him on Justice League and all that Perpetua stuff, and the end of that and where we're at, and
it's trying to tie it all
Batman Who Laughs.
Nice bow.
And there's no way you could put a nice bow on anything at DC or even Marvel for that matter. But dude, this is huge in scope. It looks like it's gonna sew up a lot of those threads. And this issue was quite good. I don't know about the whole metal part, or especially the death metal part with the whole music tie-ins and shit that they're doing. That's stupid. They're trying too hard and failing. And I don't know. But this was cool, dude. It's all multiversal. There's all kinds of weird Batmans or Batsmen running around, kicking butt. There's a dinosaur T-Rex Batman. What?
Okay, can I stop you for a moment?
Yes, go ahead.
You said before there was going to be overlap, and this was my number 1 pick.
Wow, the guy who said just last week, no DC Comics. I'm done with DC Comics.
Well,
I'm not reading them anymore.
I said I did say I wasn't going to read DC Comics, but I did have to check this out.
It's going to be hard not to read this,
It's going to be hard not to read this. And here's the other thing is I generally avoid event books.
Yeah, you do. And this isn't really a grand event in the Marvel style.
No, it's not. But it like you said,
this have 4 or 5 tie-ins, and they're all going to be like one-shots.
I'm probably not going to get the tie-ins, but
the tie-ins look good too, though, dude. They look great.
But I enjoyed Metal.
Yeah,
and I really like the Batman Who Laughs as a character. I like the Grim Knight, and I just want more of that.
I think that's
the dinosaur Batman was like one of my favorite parts of this.
Right?
He's like, I am a Batman, and they're like, Wonder Woman's like, I beg to differ. Like, no, I am.
It's so funny talking about his short ass arms.
Oh yeah. Have you thrown batarangs yet? I'm working on it.
I think what Snyder and Capullo are capable of doing, especially Scott Snyder.
The only thing I hate about the book.
Go ahead.
The only thing I hate about the book is the black on red, or the red on black.
That still gets on my nerves too.
I've gotten
over it. You have to. It's better than it used to be. It used to be a whole lot worse.
It was more legible now than it was before.
Yeah. But Dark Knight's Death Metal number 1. Again, Snyder is just able to, when he's able to just be in his own area, his own corner of the sandbox, he can do everything. I think he just has problems working with what everyone else has. And that's okay. There are other writers that had that same problem. I don't think anyone else can write in the Dark Knight's death metal universe, if you could even call this new status quo its own universe, because it's not really. It's sort of like a mishmash of different universes that we haven't seen. Would you go as far as saying as this appears to be DC's Secret Wars from Hickman?
That is probably a good comparison.
I think so too.
Maybe it might be that you could probably, when this series is done, you might be able to make that kind of comparison because it's parallel Earths, it's parallel Batman. I mean, it is the Secret Wars where they had like, you know, the different war worlds where you had different versions of the Hulk, different versions of Captain America, different versions of everybody.
We're seeing that now.
We're seeing this now. I mean, like there was, I was just kind of shocked by the number of Batmen that there were, and
it's so creative. And another thing Snyder does that's genius is he just sort of tells us enough about the characters for us to be intrigued, but not enough to spoil it.
I'm curious about this final Bruce Wayne because
exactly. He's got a Manhattan symbol on his head.
He's got a Manhattan symbol on his head.
It's gonna be nuts.
But Wally West had a Manhattan symbol.
Exactly. So we're not exactly sure what all of that means.
I'm not sure. So,
but that's a good thing. We want to know.
Yeah, it's enough. It's enough to keep me intrigued.
Yeah. Again, Snyder gives us just enough to get us to want to come back without spoiling so much to where we don't give a damn. And Mark Millar does the same thing. He did it with Old Man Logan. He does it with all his books. He gives us just enough so that we give a shit. And then he's like, nope, you don't get any more. Come back next time. And
that's it for now, kids. I'm cutting off the supply.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go to my number one. Since that was your number one.
That was my number one pick.
I get my number one pick. So fun. My number one pick. First, I would like to do a shout out to a book. Tiananmen 1989. It's not a comic book. It's a graphic novel. Adrian Gombod, Lun Zhang, and Amzian. I'm screwing up those names. Check it out. It's on IDW. It's only like $10, I think, on Comixology. It's not a true autobiography, but it's the story of 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre told with a really solid historical angle. I'm not all the way through it. I'm only about 60 pages in. I'm about halfway. But the art, and especially like the art direction and design, is just spectacular. It ignores a lot of basic sequential art rules, you know, where you have to tell a story with the panels, but instead it decides to do more centerpieces. You know, like big pages that are just so powerful.
Like a splash page.
It's not even a splash page. It's very hard to describe, man.
Okay.
It's so very, very good. Like it doesn't go sequentially in some places. Like the art doesn't look like it's telling a sequential story. The dialogue certainly is, but it chooses its imagery very purposefully. You know what I mean? And the decisions they make, it's just much more powerful. You know, the way they decide to go. And it's very telling in these moments, you know. Stories about revolution never get old, and this is about one they lost. So let's move on. My number one pick of the week, my favorite read, is going to be a surprising one. The Resistance, number 2 on AWA Studios.
That was good.
Holy shit. J. Michael Straczynski, Mike Deodato Jr., 2 masters of this craft. A global pandemic rages on Earth, and in its wake, there are hundreds of millions of dead, but also thousands of manifest superpowers. That's the gist of the
overall story.
Issue number 1 was a masterpiece, easily taking us through the span of this pandemic and its impact socially, politically, personally, and it did such a splendid job of setting up the entire series. And issue 2, oddly enough, basically just does the same thing. It's the same formula. It's J. Michael Straczynski, a master storyteller, easing us into this world inch by inch, sort of a slow boil, but it's so immersive and it's so full of compelling characters and interesting situations. It demands that you continue to read. And I just can't get enough, dude. Did J. Michael Straczynski make a Crossroads deal and know the future? Because this is like pulled out of headlines in a lot of ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of parallels with like the pandemic and everything going on.
Yeah, dude.
So, but it does talk about like these people with these powers. It hits across all social classes, genders, races.
You read this?
Yes, I'm reading the AWA stuff. I mean, I picked this up. I picked this up and I picked up Hell. So
Hotel Hell.
That's
more of a Tales from the Crypt sort of thing. Every issue's a new story.
That issue this week, or that for this week's comic, was pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't read that yet.
I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it was very good.
AWA graciously sends out Right Geekery review copies of their books. Resistance #2 came uncolored.
Oh wow!
Oh my!
Well, wasn't that kind of reminiscent of like the AWA preview book?
Yes, it was. It was, but I was able to see the preview pages with the big eyeball of that kid, on Comixology, where you can pick these up. Go to Comixology and get this book. It's amazing, but I don't know if I like it better with the colors or without the colors, dude. Mike Deodato Jr.'s art is just so damn good. It's so good. It's worth picking up just for the art. Then you get into that story and
you're like, oh wow.
I mean, the president is the biggest douchebag. The heroes don't seem all that compelling, but it's like they don't have to be because they're like the focus, the center point of the story. Those are the ones you want to see because you're a comic book fan and you want to read the comic book, type stories and those. And
we're just now starting to learn about I wouldn't call them heroes just yet, but I would call them the Resistance. And we're just
starting to call themselves. By the end of this issue, that's what they're calling themselves. They're calling themselves
because the president of the United States is like, you need to find these people, isolate them, and see what we can get out of them.
It was a great moment. It was a great
military, and that general was like, I can't do that. I'm these are American citizens you want me to go after, and they've committed no crime.
And then the president immediately was like, okay, well, what can we use to make sure that we're able to keep a hold on them? And they're like fishing for, they had the disease, they had this pandemic disease. We can use that against them. We can make them come in and get tested. And it was like, oh my gosh. And JMS is just pulling from, my God, the zeitgeist. It's so weird.
There are a lot of very interesting parallels with this book and the current climate right now.
Yeah. Have you read any of the other stuff at AWA?
Hotel Hell.
It's great.
Archangel 9.
It's good. Archangel 8. It's Archangel 8.
Archangel 8. You're right. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, go ahead. Because that book's cool too, man.
Old Haunts.
I don't think I've read that yet. What's the other one? They got another one that I'm reading.
Crap. Year Zero or something like that.
Red Border? It's not Red Border. Oh yeah, Year Zero. That's like a zombie book without zombies, and it's freaking great. Like the zombies didn't show up to like the last pages of issue 2, and it didn't matter. It was still amazing. It
was pretty good. But Old Haunts is I'm not exactly sure about Old Haunts. It seems
I don't think I've read that.
It seems like it's like a gangster story with a supernatural element to it. I'm not 100% sure.
Weird.
Because some weird skeleton
Dark Horse did a book like that recently. It was more magic. It had just magic in it.
Tommy Gun Wizards?
Yeah. But they changed the name. They changed the name to Machine Gun Wizards, I think.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can make a comparison like that. It seemed like it was gangsters or mafia guys.
Yeah.
And there's like a horror element to it because there was like they were disposing of a body.
Yeah.
And some kind of skeletal bird thing shows up. And I don't know if this is a hallucination or what. It's not clearly defined yet.
Yeah.
But that went on in the first issue that I read.
AWA is the real deal. Everyone should be picking up AWA. You should be
picking up AWA stuff instead of Humanoid.
I agree 100%. I did not like any of the Humanoid stuff that I've read. Not nearly as much as I'm enjoying the AWA stuff. And man, Resistance is so damn good.
Resistance is good.
It's so good. I'm going to go read it again.
Archangel 8 is really building towards something. Yeah. Hotel Hell. I
don't even know how to pronounce. I think it's just, I don't know if it's Hell or Hotel. What it is it's Hotel with 2 L's, but then like the
Hotel with 2 L's,
then,
but the O and the T are, if it's like a light sign, the O and the T are out.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking it was called Hell, but maybe I'm wrong. But that issue, I definitely recommend picking up the issue that came out last week. That was a good read.
Yeah, it was.
I don't want to spoil
done.
it. I don't want to spoil that for you, but that was a good read.
So well done. Well, that's it. That's our
episode.
No, that's our top 3. We'll do this one more time. Awesome. Yeah, that's it, man. That was a good episode, man.
It was.
We had a lot of fun.
I
wish Adam would have been here.
Very fast paced this episode has been.
We had a lot to cover
in an hour. We
had a lot to cover, man. There was a whole lot that we had to cover, but we've covered it. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out and listening.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out.
Whether you catch us on the audio after the fact, check us out on Facebook at Outright Geeker. We record 7 o'clock Central Time on Sunday nights. Prime time, that's one of the most expensive nights of the week for television. So we said, why not? We're good. We can compete. Right?
Yes.
Check us out at Outright
We're competitive.
Check us out at OutrightGeekery.com, Facebook.com/OutrightGeekery. We're also on Twitter and Instagram. You can get this show's Twitter, which David is going to start pushing a lot harder, he said.
Yes.
In the next week or so.
At TGIC Pod.
At TGIC Pod. We also have a whole lot of other shows besides this one. And most of those you can catch right here on the Outright Geekery Facebook page. Okay? Comic Book Bullies streams here now with Leroy and Eli. Those guys rock. Always talking pop culture and shit. They're great.
It's like one of the best shows.
It's so good. I love those guys. Geek Savs, I think I'm going to have to try to talk Eli into streaming that next. I'm going to have to figure that how to get that to work. But if not, go to the outrightgeekery.com/podcast website. Boom, they're right there. What else we got? The Wrestling Council. We mentioned that. They stream here every other week.
Get Valiant.
Get Valiant. They don't stream here. I need to get with Hoosier about that. If he's using StreamYard, I need to see if he wants to stream that shit over here.
Hoodoo TV?
Hoodoo TV. That's the same thing. I don't know if he's doing Hoodoo TV. Hoodoo TV is now hosting Get Valiant. Weird. We also have a Conan podcast that's pretty rad called Riddle of Steel. Anyway.
You can catch that with Andy Richter.
Huh? Oh my gosh. It's not that kind of Conan.
I know, but I love it.
We also have Talking Vols.
Talking Vols
sports show. We're looking for new sports shows. I want someone to do a sports show.
Well, there needs to be sports, so there can be a sports show.
Exactly. It's impossible to do a sports show if there's no sports. What else we got? We got the Geek Savs. I think I mentioned them.
You've already mentioned the Geek Savs. You forgot to mention your other show.
Oh, Instruments of Destruction.
Yep.
I don't know what we're doing with Instruments of Destruction. It's a once-a-month show. We're talking about books that are just not all that great most of the time. It's sort of a downer. I got to get with Adam Normal, my co-host over there, and figure out what we're going to do.
You could probably expand out from just the Transformers comic books.
I think if we do anything, we would stop doing Instruments of Destruction, and we would start doing This Geek in Comics, like the short ones that we were talking about doing.
The Burst.
Yeah, the Pop Stash. I think this one. Pop Stash. Right? And then if we do that, then we can talk about whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, I'm still calling it by the old name.
Yeah. Then we can talk about whatever the hell we want. And if I wanted to, I could push that audio out to both of those feeds. The Instruments of Destruction feed and the This Geek in Comics feed. So I don't know yet. But anyway, outrightgeeker.com/podcast. Check that out. We got a lot of shows, like 8. Podcast Network's always growing.
We're getting better.
Yeah, we're getting better. And OK Boomer. We got freaking OK Boomer, a couple old guys. I love those guys too. That's Big Willie and Thomas talking old ass comics. And when I say old, I mean old ass comics.
Are we talking Silver Age?
Like Vampirella #1, bro.
We're talking Silver Age.
It's awesome. I love that. And it's a good niche sort of thing that I love spinning on a niche. I love it. But most of all, I want to thank you, a.k.a. David, for hanging out.
That's always great to hang out.
It is. It's fun.
It's one of the things I look forward to on Sunday night.
And we can do the regular thing now because Adam's not here. We need to, reconsider our ending. So catch us back here next time.
Same Geek time, same Geek channel.
Is that the video? Am I playing the video?